Today on Franzieland, I'm going to be talking about the 8,000-pound gorilla in the room, which is Warhammer and Warhammer 40K. Now, I've been reluctant to talk about Warhammer and Warhammer 40K because I don't play, and I'm not an expert on it, but I do have a lot of the stuff, and I just wanted to give my opinions and views on the stuff and some tips on what I do with my Warhammer 40K, my Warhammer stuff. First of all, this is my Warhammer 40K collection. I have a fantasy collection also that I'm in the middle of painting, but I tried to build this board up to look as book accurate as possible, like the stuff that you see in the books for starters and stuff. I have these hills here that are made of wood, and they look just like the foam ones, only I decided to make them out of wood because after about a year of gaming with foam stuff, the paint starts wearing off and they start getting messed up. And unless you can keep them on a table like this, like indefinitely, and you don't pack them, they're going to get busted up and they're going to get fucked up. And you know, it's kind of like you've put so much work into it to make it look so nice, and then for it to get messed up in a year, it's not worth it. So I made these out of wood, as you can see, and I painted them. And I flocked them, and I put some gravel on them, and I took my grinding wheel and I cut these gouges in it, and kind of edged it out and have the rock showing underneath, and they came out okay. Warhammer and Warhammer 40K are not collectible miniatures games. This is a hobby miniatures game, and there's a huge difference between a collectible miniatures game and a hobby miniatures game. With a collectible miniatures game, it's you buy a booster pack and a starter pack, and you open them up, and they're usually blind. You usually don't know what you're going to get, and the more packs you buy, the better your odds of getting a rare or a really powerful person or whatever, and you can spend a lot of money that way, and there's no guarantee you're going to get what you want. Now, with a hobby miniatures game, it's a lot more expensive to get into, but it's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons. It's very vast, and you will never know everything about the game. But you can set up your guys and customize them exactly the way you want instead of having to rely on luck and fate to do it for you. So, what other things can I think about? I just want to give some my collection of how I got to get everything and the way I work the system in order to get the best bang for my buck. The first thing I do is I buy used minis, and if you have a Warhammer store, like a hobby shop, I think they're required to hold games every weekend. I'm not really sure about that, but Games Workshop definitely encourages them to hold tournaments and games on at least a weekly basis, and this is a good thing. That way, people who play have a place to go, and they have a place to meet other people that do play. Now, with that, a lot of people get a little fickle, and they build it, and they put all this time and energy and effort into this one army, and then, like a year or two later, they decide that they don't like that army, they want to go into another army, and they'll be willing to sell their army. And this is a good way to pick up some really good guys, and I got these guys as an army. These are Chaos Marines here, and they were pre-painted like this, and they look great, and I didn't really have to do anything to these guys, and I got them for like a buck a piece. So that's not bad, and I got one squad. Now, I use these guys in a Warzone fashion where I only use little squads of guys, and I have one army of each, or not every one of them, but I try to have one squad of each kind of army, and I play that way instead of having one big army that I take with me and play against and invest all my energy into one army. Because I'm ADD. I'm not really ADD, but I don't like to just sit to one thing. I like to see this and this and this and this and this and that. And so I got those. Another thing is people will trade in armies that aren't really well put together or well painted. And that was the case with my Eldar here. Is I was able to get these guys because they have really bad paint jobs on them. And I didn't strip them, but I painted over them and I fixed them up as best as I could. And I was able to get this whole squad for a couple bucks. And I repainted them, retooled them, and was able to get them to look halfway decent. The color is a little, but that's okay. They look a lot better than they did, that's for sure. And like, this was from a starter set, these Tyranids here, and they've been painted, and the paint is okay. You know, it's like got 3 colors on them, you know, but they really laid it on real thick, and all they really need is a little bit of dry brushing and some detailing, and they're salvageable. And I got like this whole squad for a couple bucks, you know, so not a bad deal. And they're out of a starter set, but it's not a big deal. And this is my Tau squad right here, and that was just a Tau Fire team, and I just got those on eBay, you know. And they were actually new on the sprue, and so that's actually them along with these orcs over here were new on the sprue. This is my girlfriend's squad, the Eldar, my girlfriend's, and these are Dark Eldar, and I can't remember their name, but that's why they have like the pink and purple motif on them. The terrain that I have in front of me is what we call, what is it called here? Department 56. And this stuff is really awesome. This is all modular stuff. And this is from like a Christmas themed deck. And I got these. These are discontinued items. And so I got them at a huge discount for these. But it's like, it's terrain. I mean, terrain doesn't really expire. It doesn't like really have a date on it. I mean, terrain is terrain. But if you haven't looked into it, look into this stuff. It's Department 56, and here's the hedge walls, and these were normally $20, and you get, like, there's actually more than this, but these hedge walls are perfect. If you put this right here, and then you, like, stick a guy shooting his gun, it is exactly perfect. He shoots right over the wall. He's got perfect cover, you know, and they come pre-painted and pre-assembled, and you don't have to do anything to them. And then the road system here, which is great. I got this road system right here, and this was $15 retail, and I got it for just about half off. So less than 10 bucks. I got this pre-painted cobblestone road. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is little villages. These, I don't know what they're called, but they're like little village houses. And I went over these briefly in a vlog about these houses. But you can get these houses here at the dollar store. And here, let me show you. Here, 99 cents. And you get these houses. And I'm going to repaint these. I got like this one. And I got some pretty generic looking houses. You don't want to get like the church or the school or, you know, like something real crazy that you would only see in America. You want to get some like basic looking, just square, basic houses. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to paint these black, and I'm going to repaint the whole thing. And once I get them painted, and I don't have like Christmas on the brain, like looking at them like just Christmas, and I get a fresh perspective, I'm going to put a different paint job on them. And, you know, you can make them look spooky, or you can make them look old world, European, or something to that effect. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll you know, do a little video update on that. So, and I also got this. This was at the dollar store, like little windmill. And I don't have to do anything to this. This looks perfect. I mean, it even matches the grass mat on this set. So another thing that you can do, one last tip, is starter sets that have been discontinued. The older starter sets you can pick up on eBay for a fraction of the cost of a new starter kit. And it's a great way to build up an army. And even if it has an army in there that you're not going to build, it's worth it to put them together, paint them up, get some practice in, and you can use those armies to trade in to somebody else, either on, you know, a forum or at your local store. Somebody who's collecting that particular army, you can trade them for the army that you're collecting. So that's another tip. I mean, these I think I got this for like between $20 and $30, and it had a crap load of guys in it. And there may be some things missing or some things broken, and I had to do some repairs, and I had to do some modifications to some of the guys or something. But for the amount of guys in there, I got like I think close to like 60 dudes, maybe 50 guys in there. It was worth it, you know, and I had a lot of fun. And this, remember, this is a hobby game, so you have to assemble everything, you have to paint everything, and it's very involved and in depth. So in conclusion here, as far as Warhammer is concerned, I'll give a couple little ratings here. As far as the models are concerned, I would give these a 10, and I'm including not Dwarven Forge. What's the name of that? Forge World. I'm including Forge World in this because this is like just overall in general Warhammer stuff. They're a 10. I mean the level of detail is basically the gold standard on these guys. The storyline and the amount of stuff, it's like there's as much in-depth story into this game as you want. This game's been around for a really long time. They got a ton of story for this, so I would give that a 10. You know, as far as the support for this game, as far as Games Workshop is concerned, they're really good about working with you about stuff. If you've ever had to contact them with anything, they're pretty supportive. And there's a huge support base in the community for this stuff. Some of the negatives about this is like, well, always the price. I mean, miniatures is not a cheap thing to get into, and especially Warhammer stuff. I mean, you can work the system and you can get a lot of cool stuff. But if you want like big stuff, the best way to do it is to make mods and build the stuff up from what you have. But if you really want that store-bought, you know, big whatever vehicle or whatever, they're going to be pricey. I mean, you can buy them on eBay, and you can actually, you know, if you buy like broken ones or something, and or off auctions or even off other people, you know. That's another way, but I mean that's really kind of getting a little too cheap to try to get to do. But what else is there? Sometimes I won't go there. So that's basically my review. I mean, it's not really a review, but it's just like, you know, basic overview. I got my Warhammer Fantasy stuff that I'm painting. I'm like taking Christmas break here to paint all my fantasy stuff that I've been collecting over the past like 2 years that I've collected, but I haven't done anything with. I just got finished basing them and gluing them together, and now I'm going to paint them. I'm going to also, along with these here, and so I'll do like a follow-up on that stuff. So thanks for watching.